Welcome back to an educational episode of the Myth-Busting Locksmith. Today we are carrying on with the subject of keys. So any locksmiths out there who are well experienced, full of knowledge, have been doing it a very long time, this is not for you. Now's the time for you to get your cup of tea. This video is deliberately aimed at new locksmiths or maintenance teams or facilities people and indeed security officers, either going into new build buildings or old buildings as part of a new team. Now, what we are running through here today are two boxes. The smaller box just here is general generic keys that are very, very useful, and the big box is full of site-specific keys. Now, I appreciate that you're not going to be able to see an awful lot of detail of the keys on the video, but my hope is that if you have a pen and pencil ready, you'll want to take notes of what I'm about to tell you. So, starting at this box here, you will want to make a bunch of these and then move on and make a bunch of these. The big box is specific for a site, the little box is general in life, but you will want both if you are working as locksmith, security, maintenance or facilities. So, we start off with the 901. The 901 is a small double-bitted key, usually made by Lowe and Fletcher, and is good for activating and disabling fire panels if you're working in a control room or where you need to disable the smoke vents of a fire panel if you're testing the alarm, or in fact making the alarm sound or turning it off. This is a 901 key, and I say again, you want to be writing these numbers down. The next is an 801 key. Get it out. It looks the same, but this one is in gold or a brass finish. And these are normally used for the alarm doors where you have fire exits that if they are opened they will sound an alarm. These are normally small white boxes with a lock that will take this type of key. You will get this in internal doors and buildings. Amazon have them absolutely everywhere. Every door you open, the door alarm will sound. This is the key to turn off or turn on that alarm. But what you must be aware of is once the alarm is activated, it will also show up on a computer if you have an up-to-date system. So although silence the alarm, you cannot sneak in and out being naughty because they will find it. This is the 801. This, again, Lowe and Fletcher, this is the 850, and along with its twin, the 830, and you can see they are both very similar. These will turn on or turn off disabled alarms. They will turn off panic alarms of a similar key type, and they are a general sort of power box key that you will find around the place. Sometimes they work on fire panels, but mainly they are either door alarms or they are disabled panic alarms or they are refuge alarms. You'll also find these at staircases where there's a refuse box. It will either turn it on, turn it off or reset it. So there's the 830 and the 850. Yesterday we talked about the Unico glass cabinet locks and the ones that are designed to go on glass cabinets or display cabinets, sometimes on the reception glass sliding doors that you have in doctors' offices and so on. There seem to be a few that look very similar, but the general codes that I have come across in the time that I have been working with them, I've had to pick some locks, I've had to rebuild other locks, I've had to replace other locks. The numbers you want to be writing down and maybe see if you can get a copy of is the 3131A, the 3010A, or the 3003. They all look very similar, but they are the keys that will go on the little silver knobs that are on glass boxes and cabinets, where the lock in the cylinder is built into the actual knob that you will turn. The knobs I found will activate a little bolt that goes across, and they are in two sizes. There's either very long or very short, and the bolt will slide in and slide out, blocking the door from being open as it locks against the frame like this and then will release like this. What I would mention is if you have these Unico locks, they are very easy to take apart and replace the bolt. So if you get stuck on a job where you need a long one and you have a short one, or you have a short one and you need a long one, it is easy to replace. You just need to take them apart slowly and carefully, because there's a steel ball bearing inside you will not want to lose. but these are the main 4 keys you will have: the 3010A, 3003, and just to be useful, the 3131A. Now the next we talked about this yesterday, it is a Southco key and the code is E3515. It is a vice compression key and you will find these on electrical cupboards, electrical board boxes and electrical boards, and you'll find it on boxes where the electrical switches are locked behind. It's round like this and you will find that there is a black circle of plastic in the door with a little black nipple inside, and this is designed to go in and activate the lock. These are from Southco. These are essential for your kit. Now the next 2 we are looking at is panic alarm reset keys. Banks will have these, any premises with a reception these days will have these, and as you can see there is a thicker one here and a thinner one here. These will both reset the respective boxes, and anywhere where you have a reception desk or a security desk, they are likely to have panic buttons underneath. These are the keys to reset them. The next one we are looking at is a window lock key. What I'm finding in a lot of communal places, especially blocks of flats, is the people like to lock the windows via a small black box on the window, a small white box on the window, a small white box on the window frame, and a little cable going between the 2 that can be locked in place. Now this is great for security and general use, but if you want to get out in an emergency, or if you want to have more fresh air in the summer and you know there's not children or vulnerable adults around, it's rather frustrating when you cannot unlock the doors or windows. So this little tiny key is the one that you want to put in your kit. This is a generic key. It'll unlock pretty much all of them, and it's very useful if you live in a shared block of flats. Now, of course, we all hear people saying, I didn't get one, mine wasn't provided, I've lost it, I can't find it. But the iPhone SIM card lock, the release key, if you will, is a very useful key. I seem to be collecting these, and I currently have about 3 or 4 in my collection, but it is something that people are always asking me for, and they never seem to have themselves. So if you come across them, save them, stick them in the box, keep them for a rainy day. You never know when it will be useful. The next key we have for you is the electric power switch testing key. This is generally an electrician's key, but it's very useful if you have to test the emergency lighting. It's also very useful if you want a little quick flash of light to see where a doorway or an exit is. It doesn't hurt to have one. They come in different sizes. This seems to be the main one. Very useful. Now, as I'm going through this, of course, I will remind you that you should be writing down the numbers for these. They are easy to get hold of, and they are the ones that you want to be sticking in your collection as a security guard, a facilities, maintenance or locksmith, because these are very useful and you never know when you could come across a situation where you wish you had one and you didn't. They're not big chunky keys, they make a small bunch, and they are very, very useful. Now the next 2 I seem to have picked up working in a corporate premises is a soap dispenser key and a toilet roll dispenser key. Both very, very useful because everybody needs to access soap. You might want to take it out, it might be needing replaced or damaged, or you just want to fix it. And of course the toilet roll dispenser keys or the handheld keys, you know what you're going to need those for. I'm not going to draw a picture. Those are always very useful keys to have. Now, for those of you who live in a block of flats and are working as facilities or security or locksmith, mainly locksmiths, what I have done is I have gone out for my block and I have bought a series of these keys. This opens my communal front door downstairs and is this is a multi-lock key, and it's a very useful key to have because I put notes through the doors of the new residents that move into my block. I advise them I'm the locksmith, I advise them that I am living in the same block as them, and I also charge about £5 less for these keys to replace than the actual landlords or the company that run the flats would. So the resident saves money, I make a bit of money, and they don't get ripped off with paying ridiculous charges. So that is box 1, that is the facilities and maintenance and generic keys. So next we move on to master keys. Now I know that locksmiths should be able to pick all the locks, and I can pretty much pick most of the ones I come across, but master keys are very useful when you need them to get in quick, or to get in without too much fuss and bother. And it's always worth having them, especially if you're not a locksmith watching this video, but maintenance or facilities. So what we have is ASEC will make a series of locks that are double bitted, and the keys will look like this, and they will make them either as single keys with single locks. You can have them suited to one key to open various numbers of locks, or you can get master keys that will generally open all of their series. This is a 6618 ASEC double bitted key for a cam lock, something I found invaluable where I've gone because it's a very popular key code to use. The next we come along to is a Low and Fletcher 92 code, and it is a single bitted key, and I find that because this is a master key, this will open an awful lot, not all of them, but an awful lot of your Low and Fletcher cam locks single bitted, which means it has teeth down one side because you have wafers down one side of the lock. If I'm talking double bitted, you have two sets of wafers and there will be teeth down both sides of the lock of the key. The next one we come along to is the 0001 key. This is a generic master key. Again, they are the same because I have a few of them. They are double bitted, and these are very good for general cam locks. You never know when you're going to need one, and you're going to come across cash boxes, key boxes, you're going to come across cabinets, drawers, and so on, filing cabinets. And this is one of the codes, a 0001 is a code that you will come across very often. Another code that you will come across very often with a double bitted key, and these are made by SKS. These are 1001. So 1001. Again, double bitted. It's a well recognised master key and will open pretty much all of those locks in that series. The next one you have MLM, which funny enough is my daughter's initials. This again is also an EKS key. So this is a master key for those, quite recognisable by the grooves and the denting, and the other master key that looks similar to this will only have teeth on one side, it will be smooth the other, and it will be a brass finish. They both work on a similar type of lock, and it is a sort of locks similar to the Unico, where you have like a silver knob with a keyhole in the middle, and it will be connected to a glass door, normally like the sliding glass doors you get on receptions at doctors and so on, but other places where trophy cabinets and display cases where the door is sliding across, this will be the key that you want. It's an MLM, it's a master key, and it will open all of those. So, the next key for your kit. We have two in the series here for this one. We have the Hafley Master Key, again double bitted, and that looks like this. Now this is a very useful key to have. Of course it's a master, it will open most of the Hafley locks. A lot of them are lockers I find these on. Very good one to have. And along with that, what you will want is the Hafley release key. Now these release keys enable you to take the cylinder out of the middle of the lock without having to take the whole lock away. So you put the release key in, you remove the cylinder, you get a new cylinder, you put this key in it, you put the cylinder back, remove the key, and the master will lock and unlock it should you need it, but the locks will come with individual keys. Yesterday I showed you a whole series of flat garage door keys, the ZL series, and I have one ZL key here. There's a whole series of these, they're 3 different sizes, but when you go to the old school garages that have a long handle across with a cylinder in the middle and you literally grip it and twist it, these flat keys, and you'll recognise the shape of the keyhole, these ZL keys will be the ones that will open those. There's a series of master keys. I would get all 3 sets of the short, medium and long and try your luck. There's about 12 in all, but you will get there. Now, not really a master key, but a master key of such. This is a very well recognised radar key. There are currently just over 90,000 disabled toilets in the country. You can get these with a red tab or a blue tab from the Disabled Society, or you can buy these on Amazon. Now what I found, and I have a few of these, is that as a father looking after a small baby from the age of 3 months to 18 months old, full time, All the changing facilities were either in female toilets or they were in a locked communal toilet, and trying to get a key for that was a nightmare. You'd go up to somebody on the till and somebody would have the key for the disabled toilet. It would be out with somebody else. They didn't know where it was, they've lost it, they couldn't find it. Absolutely disaster, made my life hell. Until somebody pointed out one day that not only with a small baby, but if you go to a service station and a coach load of people has pulled up, you could be waiting ages to be able to use a toilet. The toilets might be closed, they might be absolutely filthy, they might be, just not usable. You could go to concerts, you can go to theatres, you can go to cinemas, you can go to open spaces with them, and half the time the toilets are either locked or they're filthy or they're just not somewhere where you'd want to use it yourself or use it with a child, or not somewhere you want to stand queuing up for 20 minutes. So what I did was I bought a big bunch of these, and I've given them to my parents, I've given them to vulnerable people, and if I'm out and about somewhere and as a locksmith, I see somebody is vulnerable, I offer to sell these to them for £4 or £5, and they are very, very useful. And the good thing is this, is if you're using a disabled key in a disabled toilet, most people wouldn't dare question it. And if anybody ever does question you, you can always look at them and go, really? You're going to ask me about using disabled facilities? They're not going to touch it. And for all the fathers out there that are full-time fathers of small babies, buy a radar key, get it off Amazon, stick it on your keyring, keep one in your pocket, like I do, and take it everywhere with you, because you'll find clean facilities suitable for a man to go into a toilet with a child and change them. And the other thing you want to do, if we're having a bit of male power here, is put a washer like this on your keyring. See, I carry a key everywhere, and put a washer on your keyring, because that way if you come across a lock that's a coin turn and you don't have a coin, you have a washer that will actually open the door as well. So that's it. It's small, short and light today, but these are the boxes that you want. If you have your pen and pencil ready again, the 6618 ASEC key, the master key number 92 Lowen Fletcher, the 0001 double bitted key, the 1001 double bitted key, the MLM master key, the ZL flat master key for garages, the Hafley master and the Hafley release key, which releases the cylinder. Disabled toilet keys, and the last one I hadn't spotted is, of course, we have just two here. We have one of the padlock keys with a hole in the middle, just when you recognise the padlocks, for fire brigade keys, and one of three types, short, medium and long fire brigade keys. There's about 3 in the series. Get all 3 sets, stick them in your keyring, stick them in your box. You will not be sorry that you did. And then to go over the second box, the 901 for fire panels, the 801 for door alarms or fire exit alarm keys. You've got the 850 and the 830, which are either sometimes disabled refuge, or they are the disabled alarm reset keys. You sometimes find them on fire panels. They're a generic type of key. They are very useful everywhere. 3131A, 3003, 3010A. These are for Unico glass cabinet and glass display cabinet locks. You have, of course, the vice compression key from Southco, the E3515 key, the panic alarm keys. You've got the small and the large here. Of course, this is where I live, so you don't need to know my postcode, but the communal door keys, very, very useful. Window lock key, try and get hold of 1 or 2 of those. The toilet roll dispenser and the soap dispenser keys, very useful, especially for maintenance people. Electrical test switch keys, very useful for maintenance and facilities people. And the iPhone key, because you never know when it is going to be useful. And in addition to that, and I haven't got one here to show you, is you want to get a little A126 key. It's a very small key, it's about the size of the pad of my thumb, and it is the one that will open or release the green break glass units that release fire doors. So in an emergency, and if you want to know how essential these are, go back and Google the 80s where people had fires and hundreds of people were dying in fires because the fire exits were locked or blocked, or you just couldn't access them. So go and have a look. Get an A126 key. It releases the door on a green break glass unit. to release a fire door. But be aware, if you're doing anything naughty or illegal, it does show up on computers, it will sound an alarm, and you will be caught breaking the law. So don't break the law. Stay safe, stay legal, and do it properly. And if you have your pencil and paper ready, again, there's one on my bunch which I haven't got to show you here, but it is a JD key. Very useful. It opens up all the dry risers around every building in the entire country. It looks like a small rim cylinder key. It has JD stamped on it, and you will find pretty much every dry riser in the country it will open. So should you be passing in an emergency and you happen to have one on your bunch, it's very good for the fire brigade to gain access. If there's a bird or an animal stuck inside it, or it's been vandalised, or the door has damaged in some way, you never know when it could be useful. You might never use one. I've had one for 4 years, I've never used it. But rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That's what I say. So 2 boxes, makes a very small bunch. Put it together, see what you can find, and if you have any problems, let me know, and I will tell you where you can reach and purchase every single one of these keys. Very useful. Locksmiths, facilities and maintenance. Best little bunch to put together you could possibly ever have. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the last in the series of keys, and if you have any questions or queries, please let me know. And if you would like to know where to buy any of these keys, please let me know. I do sell some, and I can point you towards websites of the others. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.